And looks like we're going to start with the COAs from our most recent Historic Review Board. And I guess I'll ask our city attorney, Audrey Hayden, to read the summaries.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. COA 21-172, First Presbyterian Church, applicant owner request to plant a tree on the property at 209 North 2nd Street. Recommendations: approval to plant a small decorative tree with the following conditions. The tree type, placement, and location will be staff approved. COA 21-174, St. Vincent de Paul, applicant Archdiocese of Louisville, owner request to add fencing to enclose 2 dumpsters at 118 East Broadway. Recommendations: approval to install the fence as proposed in the application. COA 21-159, amended, David Hayden, applicant Archdiocese of Louisville, owner request to install 6 light posts at 114 North 5th Street. Recommendation: approval to install the 6 lights as proposed. COA 21-192, Allison and Frank Spears, applicant's owners request to replace windows at the rear of the property at 209 South 3rd Street. Recommendation: approval to replace the rear windows with the following conditions. The windows will be true divided light windows constructed of wood. COA 21-193, Allison and Frank Spears, applicant owner request to alter a roof line to the property at 209 South 3rd Street. Recommendations: approval to raise the roof line on the screened in porch as proposed. COA 21-194, Allison and Frank Spears, applicant owners request to install a new window to the property at 209 South 3rd Street. Recommendation: approval to install the new window as proposed. COA 21-189, Jamie Haslam and Patrick Whelan, applicants owners request to install wooden vents to the property at 111 East John Fitch Avenue. Recommendation: approval to install the wood vents as proposed. COA 21-190, Jamie Haslam and Patrick Whelan, applicants owners request to install a wooden fence on the property at 111 East John Fitch Avenue. Recommendations: approval to install the wood fence as proposed. COA 21-192, Jamie Haslam and Patrick Whelan, applicants owners request to install landscaping to the property at 111 East John Fitch Avenue. Recommendation: approval to install the proposed landscaping. COA 21-185, Nick Kipper, applicant Jacob and Katie Hall, owners request to install landscaping to the property at 209 West Flagey Avenue. Recommendations: approval to install the proposed landscaping. COA 21-186, Nick Kipper, applicant Sam Lacey and Nika Mathis, owners request to install landscaping to the property at 111 South 3rd Street. Recommendations: approval to install the proposed landscaping with the following conditions. Any future modifications to the landscaping plan will be staff approved. COA 21-187, Nick Kipper, applicant Town and Country Bank, owner requests to install landscaping to the property at 201 North 3rd Street. Recommendation: approval to install the proposed landscaping. COA 21-176, Finn Davis, applicant owner requests to install wood siding to the garage on the property at 110 East Brashear. Recommendation: approval to install the proposed siding to the garage. COA 21-177, Finn Davis, applicant owner requests to install a garage door on the garage at the property at 110 East Brashear. Recommendations: approval to install the proposed garage door. COA 21-178, Finn Davis, applicant owner requests to repair the dormers on the property at 110 East Brashear. Recommendations: approval to repair the dormers with the wood siding as proposed. COA 21-179, Finn Davis, applicant owner requests to add landscaping to the property at 110 East Brashear. Recommendations: approval to install the landscaping with the following conditions. Any changes or additions in the landscaping plan will be staff approved. COA 21-180, Reggie Mudd, applicant owner requests to paint portions of the exterior of the building at 106 to 108 West Flagey Avenue. Recommendations: approval to paint portions of the exterior of the building as proposed. COA 21-181, Reggie Mudd, applicant owner request to add landscaping to the property at 106 and 108 West Flagey Avenue. Recommendation: approval to install the proposed landscaping. COA 21-182, Reggie Mudd, applicant owner request to replace current wall lamps to the property at 106 to 108 West Flagey Avenue. Recommendations: approval to install the proposed lighting. COA 21-183, Reggie Mudd, applicant owner request to replace the front awning to the property at 106 and 108 West Flagey Avenue. Recommendations: approval to replace the front awning as proposed.
All right, thank you, Audrey.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I need to recuse myself on 21-174. I'm on the St. Vincent de Paul board.
All right, hold on a second here. Okay.
And Mayor, Councilwoman Hart had indicated she needed to abstain on the Finn Davis and Reggie Mudd COAs, I believe.
That's
That's
correct.
correct. Thank you.
All right, then why don't we take the remaining group as a whole, and then we'll go to the recusals after that. So need a motion to approve the COAs as presented, not including the St. Vincent de Paul or the Finn Davis or the Reggie Mudd COAs. I need a motion to approve the rest of those as presented with the conditions.
So moved, Mayor.
I have a
Sorry.
motion by Councilman Williams and a second by Councilwoman Hart. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Right now, we'll go to COA 21-174, the St. Vincent de Paul. You'll note that Councilman Williams is recusing. I need a motion for approval.
So move, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Hibbs. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Second by Councilman Dones. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion's carried. Then we'll go to the Finn Davis COAs. That would be 21, 176, 177, 178, 179. Note that Councilwoman Hart is recusing. I need a motion to approve those.
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Buckman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hibbs. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then the last group, we have those for Reggie Mudd. That would be COA 21-180, 81, 182, 183. Let the record show that Councilwoman Hart is recusing. Need a motion to approve those as presented with any conditions.
Make that motion too, sir.
All right, Councilman Buckman, there's a motion. Is second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Williams. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion is carried. All right, we'll move on then to next part of our agenda. Everyone had a chance to review the minutes from September 14th. And so then we'll approve them by unanimous consent. We have a first reading for ordinance B 2021-13, which relates to chapter 35, our classification and compensation plan. I need a council person to introduce that for first reading.
Mayor, I can do that. I'd like to make the motion to read a summary of ordinance B 2021-13 and ask our city attorney if she would read that, please.
All right, you may introduce it. All right, thank you. Now, Audrey, if you would read the summary, please.
Yes, thank you. Summary of Ordinance B 2021-13, Classification and Compensation Plan, an ordinance amending and adopting as amended an ordinance creating the Classification and Compensation Plan. This ordinance amends Chapter 35, Employment Policies, the Classification Plan and Compensation Plan of the Municipal Code by creating a new title, pay grade, and number of authorized positions in the Public Works Department. The City Council of the City of Bardstown, Kentucky does hereby ordain that the amendments and additions reflecting the number of positions, title, and pay grade respectively are adding number of positions 1 with the title Sanitation Supervisor, grade 112. All ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Ordinance shall take effect immediately upon its passage, approval, and publication as required by law. This summary was certified by Audrey Hayden, City Attorney.
Okay.
Dick, I got a
Like-
question.
Hey, Bill, let me if you don't mind, let Jessica speak to this, and that might
Okay.
help. It has to do with our new public works supervisor and some changes since Ben Bird has left our employment. So Jessica, if you would you maybe speak to this, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We're creating this position in an attempt to help divvy up some duties and responsibilities. When Ben Bird left as superintendent, Craig Downs, who's a 20-year employee with the city of Bardstown, he's been our assistant superintendent for a number of years, and he has agreed and is stepping up into that public works superintendent role. However, in one of those, our exit interviews with Ben, one of his suggestions was perhaps creating a position of this nature, because we're basically getting pulled in so many different directions. You've got one person trying to oversee all of the sanitation responsibilities, personnel, and try to follow up on all the other work orders, water, sewer, street, and so forth that's going on. So by creating the sanitation supervisor position, it's going to allow this one individual to kind of oversee just the sanitation department guys, get their CDL, be able to jump in and fill in on the truck as needed if someone calls in sick late notice, as well as follow up on any complaints or issues within the sanitation district system in a timely manner. For instance, if there's complaints about why something didn't get picked up, they can follow up on that timely and address those issues. And it also allows the public works superintendent to kind of focus on the more utility issues that are going on, overseeing the new construction that's happening, manage those other types of work tickets and issues and manpower and projects. So it almost was too much under one umbrella. So we're trying to kind of help create some segregation of duties so that we can do a better job overseeing everything.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Now, Bill, do you have a question?
Well, as eloquent as Jessica is, she answered my question. I was basically going to ask the same thing, but she explained it perfectly. And I was even going to suggest that before that y'all came to that decision. So that's fine. I'm done. I'm gonna hold you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. That must be we're making the right call.
Yeah, it's really a working supervisor role. And the growth in the community, both of these departments have really grown a lot. And it's just a lot for one person to oversee 4 departments, basically. And we get a lot of calls related to garbage, and you have to respond to those calls. So, and we have staffing issues, so we really need kind of a working supervisor who's there every day overseeing that department. We feel like it'll be a better way to manage that department and give Craig the opportunity to really stay on top of everything going on in the other side, the public works side, water, sewer, and streets primarily, which, as we all know, there's a lot of growth going on there. So it's not going to be a huge cost to us by doing it this way, since both of these people are already, we think, are already employed anyway. So we feel pretty good about this recommended change. So this is first reading. We won't take action on it tonight. Does anyone else have any questions of Jessica or myself on this? Okay, thank you, Jessica. Call on Audrey then to do a second reading of our property tax rate for fiscal year 21 and 22. You want to read the summary, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number B 2021-12, property tax 4%. An ordinance amending and adopting as amended an ordinance styled an ordinance levying tax on property subject to tax in the city of Bardstown, fixing rates thereon and designating the funds and purposes for which expenditures are authorized for the fiscal year July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. The City Council of the City of Bardstown, Kentucky does hereby ordain as follows. 1, that there be and hereby is levied the sum of 0.1780 on each $100 of real property subject to taxation, the sum of 0.1780 cents on each $100 of personal property subject to taxation, and 24 cents on each $100 of motor vehicle and watercraft subject to taxation in the city of Bardstown for the fiscal year July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. 2, all monies hereinafter collected for taxes due for the year 2021 through 2022 and all years prior thereto shall be allocated to the general fund for the general expenses of city government, including but not limited to recreation, police and fire protection, general government, and the maintenance of streets and highways. 3, collection of property tax bills of $10 or less may be waived by the chief financial officer. 4, all taxpayers whose taxes are not paid by the due date printed on the bill and or by the 30th day after the mailing of the tax bill, whichever is later, shall pay a penalty of 10% of the amount of taxes due and unpaid, and in addition thereof shall pay interest on the unpaid taxes at a rate of 1% per month or part thereof until paid. 5, a convenience fee of $2.95 or 3.5%, whichever is greater, will be levied on any credit card transaction payment of property tax bills. This ordinance shall be in full force upon its publication, and all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict are hereby repealed to the extent of that conflict.
Okay, thank you, Audrey. So it's the second reading, but I do need a motion then to approve ordinance B 2021-12 for our property tax rate for fiscal year 21 and 22 as read by our city attorney. I need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Jones. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mayor.
All right, second by Councilman Hibbs. Is there any other discussion? All right, since this is a second reading, I'll call on you all to vote individually. All in favor signify by saying aye, starting with Councilman Jones,
Aye.
Councilman Checkles,
Aye.
Councilman Williams,
Aye.
Councilman Buckman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hart,
Aye.
and Councilman Hibbs.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion is approved, and we have our rate set for the next fiscal year. Thank you all. Okay, any reports from the staff or committees? I don't think we have any tonight. Under new business, we have a TAP grant, and I would like to ask our city engineer, Jessica Filiatro, to kind of give us a little background on why we're making this request, please. And we need to approve this resolution.
Yes, we are making an application to the TAP program for the Safe Routes to School. This is the same grant program that was utilized to assist in the installation of the sidewalk along Highway 245, where the previous state project had ended at US 62 and extended it down to Chambers Boulevard. We had basically had a shovel-ready project ready for a new application phase, but the highway department fortunately offered to fund that sidewalk project along Chambers Boulevard themselves. So that's going to be a state-led project and fully funded by the Kentucky Highway Transportation Cabinet. So with this construction of the new school and the timeline for opening of the new Bardstown school, it seemed timely that we could make an application to try to help create that final connectivity, or one of the final connectivity points from this new Chambers Boulevard sidewalk, connect that with extension from Temple and Avenue that already leads to our neighborhoods in downtown area, that would then extend to the new Bardstown Primary School there at Lincoln Way. So that grant application deadline is just at the end of this month. So we've got two more days to get this in. But that's going to bode really well to really making some true connections within our business district, historic areas, commercial areas, and our schools and neighborhoods. So that's what we're trying to do, is continue moving forward with that project and with that plan.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Does any of the council members have any other questions of Jessica? And then Audrey, I think all we need is to approve the resolution. I don't think it's required for us to read the resolution in its entirety. Is that right?
That is correct, Mayor. We're only required to read ordinances. So
Okay.
I'm happy to read it if you want me to, but it's not legally required.
All right. I think I'll just ask for a motion to approve the resolution. Everybody's had an opportunity to review it, and Jessica summarized it very well. So need a motion then to approve resolution R 2021-08.
So moved.
All right, we have Councilman Williams, I think, and then who was the second?
That was me, Mayor.
All right,
Councilwoman Hart.
thank you, Councilwoman Hart. All right, we have a motion and a second. We have any other discussions on the resolution? Seeing none, then I'll ask all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion is carried. Next, we'll move on to cemetery deeds. We have one grave site purchased Elmer Copeland, and then two grave sites each for Beverly Lewis, Karen Wilson, Mary Bland, Terry Garrett, and Joe Lamar. So is that a total of 10, Gary? Is that the way I'm reading this, Gary Little?
Yes, there are 5 different individual purchases of 2 each.
Okay, so 10 in that second group B then, right? We can approve those then by unanimous consent. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is any member of the council that has anything to bring before the council this evening.
Mayor, I have a quick comment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to give kudos to whatever city employee is in charge of putting the plants around the Welcome to Bardstown sign, the mums and everything. I was out all over the town today and saw those out on New Haven Road and on 245, and they look very, very nice. So I don't know who was in charge of that, but they did a beautiful job.
I think that would be Philip Grubbs and Paul. I believe I'm correct. Is that right, Greg? Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Mayor,
Gary. I hadn't seen those. Yes, Councilman
Mayor.
Williams.
we have a special called rec board meeting tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
All right, thanks for the reminder. And the only thing I've got as far as mine is reminding everybody about, the rise in our COVID cases. We had 42 during the week last week and 60 more over the weekend. Means we got 464 active cases, and I did get confirmation either on Friday or Saturday that Flagey Hospital was completely full. There was no beds available now. I don't think they were completely full with all COVID cases, but they had no more rooms available over the weekend. That may have changed the last day or so, but that's the last report I got. And unfortunately, the number of deceased continues to rise. We're now up to 70 here in our county. So again, I encourage people to consider the vaccine. That's our best defense, preventing the illness and deaths, and also the best defense for people who are unvaccinated that are getting sick right now. They're getting seriously ill from this, and it doesn't seem like it's discriminating between age anymore. Young people are getting very sick, and we're seeing some young people pass away because of COVID in larger numbers than they were in the original COVID. So that's why I encourage people, please consider getting vaccinated if you have not. And I'm happy to note that we are seeing more of our employees here at City Hall are starting to get vaccinated, because we've had a number of employees recently get very sick. So happy to report that. I'm sorry taking people to get really sick to maybe change some people's thought on that, but whatever it takes, we're happy for that. Okay, don't see anything else this evening, unless anybody else has anything. I'll ask for a motion for adjournment then.
So moved, sir.
All right, Councilman Buckman, appreciate it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Have a good